okay. Off your mic is okay. She off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come.
I don't know. I think I'm having an issue with the audio. Please let me know if your audio is perfect right there on your device. Good evening to you.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará yìí. Maiyegun diary, lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Thank you so much for joining me. So, yeah, if the audio is perfect, tonight, I need your real attention on everything I'm going to say. Because everywhere right now, the news is about cannibals who beheaded human beings, cooked their flesh, and ate them. So, in the name of Biafra, before we start catching emotion, getting lost in what is propaganda and what is real, I'm going to need your attention. Share the broadcast.
Ani esunraki.
My favorite part.
Lórí Facebook. Ani esunraki. Lórí YouTube. Ani esunraki. Ọba bá gbé wúrẹ́. Ani esunraki.
Thank you so much for joining me. 38 human beings were slaughtered, butchered by terrorists known as bandits in Nigeria, in Southern Kaduna, Giwa local government area of Southern Kaduna, in Kaduna state of Nigeria today. That is also in the news. But tonight, I want to quickly intervene in what is now trending. But before I get into it, yeah, I'm going to show you something. But I'm going to also advise viewers discretion. This video you're about to watch can get some of you a little bit unsettled. Some of you might have seen it, but it is cardinal to our conversation tonight. Watch this. Boy, supoya for boy, you met me home and did you get mangin the education? Go, yeah, I can no go number one. Three brook and Jagay gave us the large judgment. I believe a battle the teacher okay and keep answer. No Satan, as give us in the FCC. Look at a none cross I walk community Halil. Boy generation again. Once natural Biafra, blood the guy gave me in Biafra land. I couldn't hear you. Blood the guy again message in Biafra land. I couldn't hear you. Blood okay message. Blood okay message. Okay message. Eh? Blood okay message in Biafra land. Okay message. Okay me. Okay me. Okay me. Very sorry if it makes you, gets you kind of distressed. That's how that's how I felt when I saw that video. And in releasing that video, there are statements that follow that. In one of those statements, those guys said they were doing it because of the continued detention of Maiyegun General. And in their statement, they also said that Maiyegun General has given the order, whatever that means. But it is always better never to get carried away. Even if you feel like some of these people deserve anything, nobody deserves to be treated that way. Nobody. Even your worst enemy. Nobody is meant to be treated that way, under whatever cost. That is an act of terrorism. But let us separate the wheat from the chaff, as they talk on. The violence one. Something that the political class, starting with the governor of the state, in Imo State, where this happened. From the information we have, it is stated that you see those two people, two old men kidnapped. They were Azis, the class of royal fathers. They were kidnapped. Their palace burnt down. Those they caught with them were also kidnapped. And that. But before then, there emerged a group called themselves Biafra National Guard. Now, Biafra National Guard, unknown to so many of us anyway, until September, October 2021, after a whole stretch of almost a year of the government-sponsored, politician-sponsored, unknown gunmen. So the state governor came out and he said he's going to name those behind the terrorism in Imo State, but we'll help him a little bit. But as for you, my brothers and sisters, Biafrans, the reason why you should, by all means, distance yourselves from this violent gang that are here to finish the job that Boko Haram started in internationalizing the terrorism tag on IPOB members worldwide. They need something to push that, and they seems to be getting that. You should not be part of those that will fuel that, whatever that does for you. But here we go. You see those two people, they said they were kidnapped on Sunday. Two kings. And maybe because they were considered as saboteurs, people who they considered as friends of those who came to kill the Biafrans in Biafra land, mostly the government agents. But for 6 solid years, despite all they've done, every now and then you read it here and there, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu just give the order, we will go after these people. He never gave it. Now that he is in DSS detention, some people propped up in the name of fighting for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. These two people that they killed, their names are Eze Acho Undukwe of Amagu Ihuhe and Eze Paul Ogbu of Ihite Ihube from Okigwe local government areas. When these guys came out and they said they are Biafra national national guard, completely unaffiliated to IPOB to start with, they said they were going to attack, kill, and all that until the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And then I asked myself, and we should ask ourselves, how would the killings of these men, of these kings, bring about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Just prior to this same group, they caught 2 policemen. Guess who they were? They were also Igbo policemen who took this escort job to guard one VIP, politicians or wherever, to Eastern Nigeria. When they got there, this Biafra National Guard grabbed 2 of them. And I bet they probably spoke to them. Yeah? And they know that they were Igbos too. You know what they did? They beheaded one, tied the other one to watch them behead one, and they roasted the head of the one. They roasted the head right there on the fire, while the second one sat there watching. And they recorded it and they shared it, just exactly like the Boko Haram terrorists. But many of you on social media, you are not helping issue at all. And this is how. When you look at the atrocities of these criminals, the ones who have now come out, the one we can identify now. Before now, we call them unknown gunmen because we know the story behind that. But you see these ones that came out to claim responsibility, ask yourselves, if they said they are there to protect Biafra and Biafrans, if they genuinely are agitating enough for the injustice meted at the Biafrans for years and decades, would you actually want to prove that by publicly slaughtering Biafrans that you considered easy targets, that you considered as what exactly? A message of what? It is just like somebody or some group of people coming out now, and then they start taking the Yorubas And they say we are killing them because we want the Yoruba leaders to know that they have to release Sunday Igboho. And then somebody jump on social media and says, this is just the beginning. We will show them. And you ask them, is this not self-destruct? Or how do you see it? Well, before we even get further on that, here is another thing that Joe told me, and that really got me thinking. It is the fact that before now, yeah, relatively, all the politicians in Eastern Nigeria, they knew, or maybe they dreaded, because they knew the negative force that the numbers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's followers can be if he choose to come after them. But they also knew that despite all provocation, none of them came under any such attack since the time he got kidnapped from Kenya, which now opened the flood of, even before he got kidnapped from Kenya, which opened the flood of all the intending criminals that are already known mostly to this political class, starting with the Imo State governor, who recently said,
to kill our people, we have started picking all of them. As now we pick a suspect, 18 of them have confessed those who are paying them. We have gotten the bank account from where they have been transferring money to them. And we have evidence. When I will address Imo stakeholders on January 3rd, I will call their names one by one.
Terrorism escalated after that guy became the governor of Imo State. Suddenly, locally armed criminals who were usually ready-made weapons or muzzles for politicians. So the political hotbed that Imo State became, immediately this guy became their governor, suddenly opened the door and window into the terrorism you are witnessing in Biafra land today. And this is where you, the long-time real IPOB members and lovers of Biafra, should begin to see through when you are somehow emotionally being led to believe in the violence that you never orchestrated. It all started from unknown gunmen. Unknown gunmen. How come that we only read about unknown gunmen when they committed the atrocity? There is never a time the military, as much as they've militarized the entire region, there's never a time where the unknown gunmen clashed with the military and then the unknown gunmen get killed in clash. Never. It's always the news. Unknown gunmen attack police station. Unknown gunmen attack a prison yard. Unknown gunmen attack here and there. When we punctured those propaganda, first time, that guy, Uzodima, came out and he said, IPOB is not behind all the crisis in Imo State. Even though it is easier for all the disgruntled politicians in Imo State to disguise their criminality and the atrocities and every other terrorism they might have plotted against their people just for power, they can disguise it behind IPOB. Of course, it's easier. This guy came out, he didn't name names then, but he said he's going to name names in January. But we do know that the political undertone behind the increased insecurity in Eastern Nigeria that started from Imo State is so obvious that people started withdrawing. I said, okay, and these unknown gunmen, we should not have anything to do with them. But some of you are being dragged into believing that killing Sabo or killing people who have publicly denounce their support for Biafra as you would want them to. Royal fathers, betrayers, sold out. But if you, by any means, justify the killings of any people at all in the name of a self-determination, this is what you are doing. I will give you an example. In northern Nigeria, you have the fanatics, real, ignorant, religious fanatics. When Osama bin Laden attacked, when Al-Qaeda attacked the World Trade Center in America, back in Kano and some part of northern Nigeria, it was celebrated. Osama bin Laden became a hero. The world was watching. So when that eventually met, which means the people who were celebrating in Kano back then, they didn't know that a day will come that the same people who flew a jet into a building, who strap bomb around themselves and walk straight into the midst of innocent people and blew themselves up, they are going to become regulars and they will become neighbors with them in Nigeria, where it will get to a point where religion and whatever will never matter. But they were not seeing it that way. Fanatics, I call them. I'm not calling you Biafrans fanatics, but you can easily become one. When you begin to justify things that are similar to what I just described now, because it's happening to other people that disagrees with you in a way. So what ended it? Boko Haram was given birth to. Worldwide, Boko Haram is a terrorist organization. You can't get associated with that. Boko Haram have leadership. Boko Haram have things that people can relate with and indeed related with to what is now what we have today. IPOB is not a terrorist organization until Boko Haram came and he decided to do everything to radicalize them. And he's done so worse. But never for once have you seen anywhere where the real true leadership of Biafran struggle, the one that have name, IPOB, came out and said, we are killing all, like, you know, that's something that Sheka will say. We give you 14 days. If you don't release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we are going to start killing all the royal fathers. We are going to start killing all the politicians. He say, that is act of terrorism. And it is always gradual. And you'll be deeper in it until you wake up one day and you dare not, if you really value yourself, you dare not put up any memorabilia of Biafra or IPOB on social media, because what Boko Haram and the gang wanted to show the world is that they were right, that sooner or later, IPOB, as they were going to turn to violence, and they are going to become radicalized, and they are going to never be different from Boko Haram. But for 6 years, they couldn't do that until IPOB decided to start their own security outfits called ESN. Then all hell let loose. I don't know if many of you know that there is a court case in America. There is a pressure movement in America sponsored by Nigeria, financed by Nigeria, to what? For America to tag IPOB a terrorist organization. People working day and night to block that, to make sure that that never happens. But you see happenings like this, where people come out and say, we give you 14 days and we are going to start killing. Then you check your media and you see people, died beaten blue black, blamed for the arrest or the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And because it is attached to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, your emotion takes over. And you begin to feel like, yeah, they deserve it. They are Sabo. Do you know how many of our people they have killed? Do you know how many of they are the ones responsible for this and that? Emotionally, you agree with them. And what the out there is also watching and reading. Because they are not going to agree with you that DSS is doing this. I am not going to agree with you that DSS is doing that. Yeah, you may say DSS is funding them. I may agree with you. You may say the people are funding them to destroy or to bring a bad image to the IPOB. Of course, I may agree with you. But I bet you agree with me too that justifying what they do or what they are doing is wrong. It is wrong because your job is to denounce them completely. We have nothing to do with them. You have nothing to do with them. Their power or whatever they do will never release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It won't. It will just help those who are picking up. If you have noticed, their media will not say Biafra National Guard, which came out publicly to make that threat. Their threat is to target soft spots, people like them that they considered either as political enemy for whatever they are pushing, and then they kill them in the name of IPOB or Nnamdi Kanu. Their media won't report it that, oh, these are criminals. Their media will put it out there. They are already doing it. ESN IPOB. Kill this. ESN. Now, here is where the confusion comes in. For some of you who have been trapped in this, and you probably won't find this palatable enough to your ears. This is where that comes in. They make videos of all these atrocities. They do. And they kill Igbos, butcher them, cook them up to say, if you don't release Nnamdi Kanu, we will do more. Nobody should encourage that. And I'm happy that majority are not supporting this. But the reason why you have to do more to take this serious is that when you come online, for example, to express your total disgust and displeasure about what is going on, which we all do all the time, there are some things that you don't get used to. One of them is to get used to amplifying those voices that tells you we need to use violence. Amplifying violence in this regard is no longer, fighting for self-determination. If that amplification of violence is on ourselves, the same people tired of the injustice that Nigeria has subjected us to. The division is huge. And your job, my job, is to do all that can keep us safe enough to keep up at the numbers of those of us that will eventually stand to fight. So when you amplify violence traits, if you don't do this with us, we are going to show you tomorrow. What you are giving the world is that, yes, Buhari was right. And Buhari is never right. The whole thing going on in eastern Nigeria is completely civil issue that should never involve any military intervention or house-to-house hunting, profiling, and killings by the states. It shouldn't. It got to that point because that is how they maintain power in that contraption called Nigeria. It shouldn't get to this level. But so far, so good. The world has heard so much about this injustice through IPOB. But you see the kind of self-inflicted attacks, cutted disastrous path. In the last 1-2 months, I can tell you, it will end in one thing. Proscription of IPOB worldwide. And that will be so sad to see happen. But it will be easier. Right before our eyes, we'll see that happen. Unknown gunmen shouldn't have anything to do with IPOB. You should know that. Biafra, National Guard, and every violence recorded out there, check it out. Who are the victims? Are they those they told you have been killing you? Or those they suspected to be behind the killings? When I saw that video today, it got me really, really sad. Because you see, visual content, there's something called digital footprint. No matter what you try to do afterward, they don't go away. And you see this mentality of people trying to divert concentration on critical thing or critical issue like this. Who is responsible? Who is backing these people? Who are those bringing about all this kind of division when Nnamdi Kanu is not there? And then you see this part, they will tell you, no, DSS, this one is working for DSS. That one is working for DSS. Maiyegun, don't trust them. Maiyegun, don't believe them. That doesn't work. These characters are completely backed by the same system that hunted down Nnamdi Kanu. And what the best you can do is not to try and deviate it and say, well, DSS. Now DSS, they speak Igbo. Now DSS, they roast people's head that we saw in those videos. It's easier to deviate from that. That is called living in denial. It doesn't let people take responsibility. It doesn't make people get serious about this. And the damages is being done. It's called self-destruct, destroying yourself by yourself, thinking you are sending a message to those you thought or you think are planning to destroy you. You don't destroy yourselves to send a message. For 6 years, tell me, did you ever read it anywhere or see any video anywhere where IPOB arrested people, kidnapped people, punished them because of what they believe they have done against the struggle? Did you ever see that anywhere? And what you have seen in 2021 alone, what does that tell you? It is a collaborative work that some of you emotionally are following, unknowingly agreeing to 2021, the journey to 2022 international proscription of IPOB as a terrorist organization when the clips like this make their way out there. Well, you have a job, you have the number out there on social media to stop living in denial and start facing the charges, start facing the challenges as it is, and call out the criminals doing this. You don't say, it is, some of you are already pointing fingers in the comments. That is not the purpose of this broadcast. It is more serious than that. You will point fingers at yourselves, as you have been pointing fingers at yourselves, like the way you suspect yourselves. Who are those who work with Nigeria and sold Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria? Who are those who are holding our leader? And every other comment around on social media, right? You can continue to point fingers at yourselves. But do you know the real damage is going on? Yeah? Others are doing things that will make you stop saying you are actually an IPOB member soon enough. And many of you are not the orchestrator or those who orchestrated this. But your emotion will drag you into it as you continue to point fingers at yourselves. I have told you on this platform repeatedly that Nigeria has the capacity to get anyone they want to get from any part of the world whenever they want to. It is just that if you are not their priority, trust me, you are not their priority. Wherever you are all over the world. Even if you are no longer carrying that Nigerian passport. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu case should be a lesson to some of you. Nigeria, or let me say Buhari, may be that Fulani that you know that one-on-one, he won't even say draw. If the Igbos and the Fulanis, if they have to face each other, to you, it won't say one-on-one. I mean, it won't even say draw. But he has Nigeria. That's a very powerful resources there. A very big, powerful bargaining chip. Since Nigeria is just like a graveyard, like where the scavenger goes to scavenge. So Nigeria is there for trade. So Nigeria is the bargaining chip that Buhari can use to get anything they want all over the world. But maybe not everything. So if they want you, don't go close to where they can have a chance on you. But turning around and somehow ignoring the fire that they are cooking, the fire they've started behind him, ignoring that to be pointing fingers at yourselves. I will expose you. I will tell the truth about you. I will tell everybody how they kidnapped our leader in this. I will tell everybody what they are doing to our leader. I will tell you what we are going to do to get our leader out. We are going to make a deal with North Korea. We are going to make a deal with Israel. We are talking to this and that. All of this, you can continue doing them. But you can continue to ignore the main fire. Because whenever they remind you of it, Maiyegun, don't worry. Those are, they are DSS. When you can actually all come together to expose those who are about to push you into that oblivion, I don't know how it's going to work. The whole world has begun to hear about the atrocities of Nigeria against Biafrans again. Parliament all over the world are now discussing this. The entire world, I mean, the people that matter, have now taken notice of all the ongoing persecutions of the Biafrans and the religious Christians in Nigeria. But at the same time, the mission and one mission only of Buhari as seen take Nnamdi Kanu out of circulation. This time around, justify the killings of those who have labeled the suspected IPOB, even if they are not terrorists. Let us show them how to be, and let us show the world that they can be won. And the world doesn't really care, so to say. North Korea is not coming to fight for you. Israel is not coming to fight for you. America is not coming. UK is not. At the end of the day, if you don't self-destruct, we are the only one that can fight for ourselves. So, calling it as it is, you don't support those who unleash violence on people they disagree with. That is the work of the terrorist. And you don't live in denial of it as well. It is important for people to remain united and know that the force you are fighting with, they can do anything. But they can't do anything if somebody like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for 6 solid years that this whole attack started on the IPOB member under Buhari, for once, he never came out to tell people that I am going to kill the people of this place, or I'm going to kill this king who said this or that. For example, listen to this. So this was about 2 years ago. This was like way back after Nnamdi Kanu's succeeded assassination, right? A king in Biafra land said this.
I want to assure you all that nobody is driving the Fulani community out of Abadanewa. And I want to make it clear that in the history of our relationship with the Fulani communities, no cow has ever been killed in this kingdom. No Fulani man has ever been fought in this kingdom. And we have been continued to maintain peace as directed by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Enugu.
Do you get that now? That was in Enugu. Nobody issued a death warrant on him. And I deliberately choose to keep hammering on that because it's important. For those period, there have been people who were saying Nnamdi Kanu should give them the order. These were people who are ready. But maybe Nnamdi Kanu himself knew that give you the order should be when they come after us. I shouldn't give you the order to kill our brothers and sisters. Kill them just to show to the world that we are in control. But have you noticed how all of that suddenly started changing? When different characters are beginning to take the spotlight, because nobody is there anymore like Nnamdi Kanu to say, this is what we are going to do tomorrow. I remember when the provocation got to a point and people were being attacked by the security agents in Nigeria. They were being attacked, arrested, and all of that, assaulted at different IPOB meetings. Nnamdi Kanu came out and he announced and he said they were going to stop all the IPOB meetings all across Biafra land just to keep the people safe, just to keep the community safe enough to continue to at least trust the instincts of the man that chose to dedicate his life for a cause of the million other lives. I said, somehow this guy knew how to study. Or maybe he studied the mood of the people of Biafra enough that he could relate with them so easily that even when outsiders read him wrongly, the insiders in Biafra, they read him rightly, and they call that controlling them. He doesn't give marching orders as people would want to, based on his influence. He never gave order to kill people. He never came out to brag about killing people. He never threatened Biafrans that if they don't obey this, if they don't do that, this is what will happen. Most of his live broadcasts and presentations have always been about warning them. If you don't listen to me, this is what they will do to you. This is what will happen to you. If you continue to, he never came out to threaten the Igbo people. I mean, I would love to see it too. If you have anywhere Nnamdi Kanu in any of his broadcasts giving order, threatening people that fail to do it, or giving orders and threatening the political class and the rest of them. I mean, I would love to see that, because for those 6 years, there was never anyone in Igbo land that would say, I got attacked because I disagree with IPOB. But look at what happened since January, when they created this unknown gunmen. And we said, this can't be real. Simply because, yes, Nnamdi Kanu gave just one order. And what was that order? Volunteer. We need to protect Igbo land. I won't forget that. That was a year ago, December 2020. He gave the order and he said, volunteer. People came out and they volunteered, and that was how they gave birth to Eastern Security Network. And their only job is to stay in the forest, where they believe that Fulani armed others and the terrorists, they have drove thousands of people out of tens of hundreds of communities, while Nigeria government or the Igbo governors were unable to do anything. And then, within a month, we started seeing ESN videos going after cows, going after hordes, illegal settlements, where people never allocated land for these guys, and they've been there. We saw all of that, and from March, April, boom, unknown gunmen started. Political criminals, powered, armed by politicians in Imo State. That became the window for unknown gunmen in eastern Nigeria. This timeline, and then the global, the global effort of kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu. A big job that involved possibly more than 2 countries. Where we know Nigeria, we know Kenya is involved. Some said UK is involved. Other people said other peoples are involved too. Other countries are involved too. But that's a work for one individual, only for them to take this to the next level after declaring Operation New Dawn or Golden Dawn. Operation Golden Dawn is what now you can call the declaration of war in eastern Nigeria. Declaration of war on people who have no arms to fight you. Then look at what it is today now. Threats upon threats. People now get kidnapped, not by Fulanis. People are now being kidnapped by Igbo criminals. So call them criminals, don't call them DSS. They are Igbos. You can say DSS empower them, they give them whatever it is. Please, don't deviate. Imagine you being kidnapped by Igbo kidnappers, and they say, sit down there. You are the people who did not allow our leaders to be freed. Our leader must be free, and we will show Nigeria that our leader must be. To a poor woman, a poor man, because maybe politically you know why you track them down and pick them up. But Nnamdi Kanu, how can anybody even put Nnamdi Kanu name beside those who go out and kill people? How? I gave you the timeline now. There was never a time when they went into a school where people were praying, remembering their killed heroes. And they killed tens of people there, including children. There was no IPOB National Guard, IPOB Armed Guard, or anything going about to hunt people down. Why? Ask yourself. Nnamdi Kanu knows one thing. That he can say anything on his program. At the same time, he knows that the world also watches him. The world has become so global enough that, yes, if they sense that indeed you are a terrorist or underground promoting terrorism, they will come after you. That's how it works. So Nnamdi Kanu knows the danger of propagating violence and violence and violence against people, especially when it got released in 2017, before the attempt on his life, and he came back. He knew the danger of using his platform, being listened to by millions of people all over the world to tell the world and brag, we will kill people who disobeys us. He knows the danger of blacklisting IPOB worldwide. My brothers and sisters, no joke, no pun intended, though. Even Elohim cannot save IPOB. If it should ever get blacklisted as a terrorist organization, things terrorists does are the things these criminals are doing. So don't deviate. Don't call them DSS. Don't. If you begin to tell yourselves that they are not real, if somebody comes on to tell you that those video is fake, those people kidnapping people, they are fake, they are DSS in our land, you are not telling yourselves the truth. And if you don't tell yourself the truth, there is no possibility that you're going to act right. And if you don't act right, you will wake up one day and you will dare not post anything and claim to be an IPOB member. Because that means you are publicly declaring yourself, just like Al-Qaeda. Somebody coming out to say, hey, I am a proud Al-Qaeda member. And then you turn around to say, oh, the world hates us. How can the world call us terrorists? Can the world see what they are doing to? Of course, the world is seeing what they are doing to you. That is why the sensible people, I'm talking about the people who knows the legal implication of what Nigeria is doing. That is why they are putting everything on record, because everyone who is committing all these atrocities, genocide and what have you against the Biafran people, as we speak, they are never going to go scot-free. They might do this in the name of Nigeria. Yes, they are kidnapping people en masse. They are killing people, burning their properties, destroying lives, displacing people in Biafra land. Government-sponsored anarchists. Of course. But guess what? The whole world is already going to hunt them down. They're never going to get away. So are you, supporting those who are using that to kill your fellow Igbo brothers and sisters. That is what should have jolted you in the first place. We need action. We need action. That's what people tell you all the time. What kind of action do you need? Is that the kind of action you need? Let's show them. Show who? I've asked people these questions many times. Show who? People have told me on Maiyegun's diary, Politico. Of course. We need to show them. We need to fight back. If you are fighting back the terrorists, I'm proud of you. I will be proud of you. Yes, the terrorists who invaded the villages, displaced people. If you volunteer and you could put resources together and keep people safe in your own way, I am proud of you. That is action. We need to kick back. We need to fight back. Fight who back? Can you do that in Abuja? I mean, that's the kind of fight back I would expect. How is fighting back the same as killing your own people? Let's kill all these obas. Okay. And the Fulanis will be like, okay, Well done, oh, kill yourselves. You see all these sabos, all these saboteurs against Yoruba nation, against Biafra. Let's go after them. We need to hunt them down, Maiyegun. If not, we are not going to make any headway. Really? Kill yourselves? So that Fulani can say, hey, please, oh, these people are killing themselves. Oh, yeah, take Biafra. Oh, yeah, take Oduduwa Republic. How does that make any sense? It doesn't to me. So when people say we need action, what kind of action? Can you define it? Most of the time they can't. But guess what? I love the people who actually take action, because the people who talk and do. These are the people who knows why those who are committing these atrocities in Nigeria are currently comfortable, because they are committing them in the name of Nigeria, forgetting the fact that they will be separated from Nigeria when their prosecution time comes. Those who take actions, those who took it upon themselves to approach the U.S. courts to take Nigeria and the U.S. government to court in the U.S. and ask the court to stop America from selling to Kano jets to Nigeria, because they know those weapons are for sinister motives to kill the Biafrans. Some people did that. That is an action I'm talking about. Some people took action by identifying the criminals behind the program going on in Nigeria, right from there, right from the Middle Belt down to the entire South. They put the names of these criminals together, starting with Buhari himself, Malamu and gang, Buratai the Butcher and co, and so many other names that many of you don't even have a clue about. And they submitted a petition against them at the ICC, International Criminal Court. That is an action I'm talking about. Same thing some people did, and they put together a petition, something to criminalize, and then indict the criminals who are using the power of Nigeria to promote their ethnic, selfish agendas against other ethnic groups. That is an action I expect. The other one is from the rest of us to say, enough, we're shutting it down. That's also an action I'm expecting. But when I say we need to take action, we get rid of the evil ones. Somebody said, get rid of the evil one. Who are the evil ones? The ones that don't agree with Biafra. Are those the evil ones? As long as they are Igbos. Now, you need to be very clear. There's something called self-destruct mode. That is what many of you are activating in your mind. When people say they don't believe in Biafra, they are Igbos, but they don't believe in Biafra. They believe in Nigeria. They are automatically enemies. They should be exterminated. Is that what you mean? When people say we don't believe in Yoruba nation, I believe in Nigeria, and you believe in Yoruba nation because of the damages Nigeria has done, does that make those people your enemies? Must they be killed or removed, like you said? What become their faith when you have Biafra finally? Are you going to go after them? Is that the self-destruct mode that some of you call action? No. I don't see that as an action. It's called self-destruct. I believe in those who would never understand why you need Yoruba nation. And you shouldn't blame them. In fact, if the number is still very much high, don't blame them, blame yourselves too. Have you condemned them perpetually to their positions, or have you managed to see them as potential people that will eventually turn around to agree with you? What made you believe in Biafra can make them believe in Biafra. Have you done your part without threatening them, without intimidating them, without telling them that they would die, because them not believing in Biafra is the reason why Biafra hasn't come? Have you thought about that? Of course, that's not normal. If that's how you are thinking, if that's what you are thinking, if that is how you think this is going to work, because that's not how the world works. There will always be people, and let me surprise you, they will be in their millions too, who don't believe in Biafra. Call it whatever you want to call it. You won't kill them. There are going to be millions who don't believe in Yoruba nation. You're not going to kill them. And then turn around and say, the Fulanis are the one holding us back. No, you're holding yourselves back. If we have millions of people who don't believe in Yoruba nation, let us blame ourselves, those who believe in it. Violence won't make them believe in it. The only violence that will make people believe in Biafra, believe in Yoruba nation, is the violence that you expose, the violence of the government of Nigeria, the disguised ethnic cleansing violence called One Nigeria project that is to force everybody to remain as part of Nigeria. That is your job, to expose that. That's the only violence. Well, that's how I see it anyway. I like it when people say, I like it like Zeke, my brother, just said there. It's a small minority of people who don't agree with Biafra. Even 5%, my brother, is a huge number. You gave a figure there, 95% believe in Biafra. I'm going to agree with you. Well, that means it's not 100%. That's just proved my theory. There will always be those people. Of course, there will always be them. What is your plan for them? There will be royal fathers who don't believe. Well, there are royal fathers who don't believe. A lot of them. There are many members of your family who don't really believe. Violence is not it. And I want you to see it that way. Don't have that mentality that anybody who don't believe can be exterminated. They can be ostracized. They can be excommunicated. That will make you the same monster you are trying to get away from. The monster that Nigeria has become. Stereotyping, ethnic cleansing, profiling, and the rest of that. You should avoid that by all means. And they are all thoughts that creeps into mind. They are always gradual. We should kill them. That mentality should stop. By all means. Zeke. You see how direct it is now when I used number. But you're not going to deny. Even right here on the same comment section you are possibly commenting on right now. You're not going to deny the fact that some people believe that those who publicly, especially those who publicly condemn Nnamdi Kanu and the IPOB and justify, because that's the extreme, by the way, not just that they don't believe in Biafra, they publicly said, you who believe in this and the way you are doing it, you deserve everything Nigeria is doing to you. Who publicly shown that? They have also been publicly crucified enough to say, we will kill all of you. And indeed, we are beginning to see those who could actually do it, and they are doing it. So even right there in the comment section. And I have seen enough out there too. So, but the point I'm making is this. The world saw that video of two royal fathers that were kidnapped. And from the statement that was made in that video, they said they were doing it because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave the order. Now, that is not true. Because that means Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's brother, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, the kind of the regular people allowed to see him, would have been the ones who came out to say they should start killing royal fathers or anyone who disagrees. Just get them policemen who disagree, soldiers who have been killing our people. Unfortunately, the two incidences we have seen where these cannibals in Imo State, carried out their terrorist act, all of their victims have been Igbos. The Sabos, they call them. So we owe it to ourselves on this street, social media, to continue to hammer it to our own ears too. That we should be careful of what we wish for and what we justify, no matter whatever emotional pressure you might get pushed into. Because it's like flames. You can inflame things like this, rile people up, shake them up and make them feel elated, kind of justify things that will eventually boomerang. So the journey into this is that I have seen them all, and I am not one of those that will believe that kind of deviation. Maiyegun, they are DSS. Do you get what I mean now? And that's the impression I'm trying to let you, please, as a Biafran, as a Yoruba nation agitator, things are going to be happening from the beginning of 2022. They are set up that somehow may kind of, suit your fancy, even though you are not a violent person. And they say, oh, they have kidnapped this so person. Ah, it deserves it. He's an enemy of, he's a one Nigerian. So gradually, that path is a path of extinction, that it will become a taboo all over the world to hold that flag. And IPOB has done so well for people to begin to change the narrative to that of kind of violence and the rest of that. Continue to distance yourself. I'm not saying that IPOB is part of this. What I'm saying now is that join those who don't justify any of those acts, because most of them, they are ingredients of ensuring that IPOB is blacklisted. There are people working on that in the US. You can Google that and read about it. No joke. There is an organization in America, as we speak, working day and night, according to them, collecting evidence. They are there in the eastern Nigeria, speaking to people according to them, documenting their, and the only organization that has a name globally recognized and respected, where people are proudly Biafrans, IPOB, all over the world. That is the only organization that can be pinned. So it's your job to change that narrative. Condemn the terrorist. Don't pretend. Don't make it like those who have chosen to call terrorist bandits in northern Nigeria. You know the consequences of that. When you look at those, the bandits, as they call them, when you look at those who are their victims, they are their own people too, people who live in those areas. So when you look at these guys who says Nnamdi Kanu gave them order, you know it, that he didn't give anybody any order to kill anyone. How would he even give the order in DSS detention? So this sinister act, this terrorism act, don't join them to say they are not Igbos, they are not this, they are not that. But you can say it, they are not IPOB members. Then double it up and condemn it. Condemn it. Don't join. I've seen, me, if I don't see, I know they talk if I don't see. Yeah. And when I see that something is becoming so much of a trend, that some people that you even thought, oh, come on, don't feel comfortable with that. Have you actually read the entire article? Have you read the names of the victims? Do you feel comfortable reading the names of those who are the victims of these guys? And they are Igbos too. Is that how much you actually love Igbo land? Is that how much you want a Biafra to be? That you are ready to start killing yourselves for those who are benefiting from the stipend called Nigeria? How is that going to bring Biafra? Is the next question. So the humanity in me will never let me justify that. And I hope the rest of us who have somehow been so steadfast, you will make it a sort of a duty. Go on, tell them the IPOB, how peaceful IPOB has been before Nigeria started all this war that you are now witnessing. Imo governor said he is going to expose them. Keep track of that. And then when he starts naming his own friends who are actually sponsoring these terrorists, then you are likely, I don't mean that you're going to agree with him, but we all agree that it's mostly political. Mostly political. And since it's mostly political, the characters, the actors behind it, if they name themselves, please don't say you don't believe it. Please, if the devil walks in and says, I am the devil, right? Don't question, are you sure? When you see Uzodima says, I'm going to name the people behind the terrorism in Igbo land, what you should look out for is that he's never going to call IPOB one. So don't make them call you one. Like Devil Umayi. Umayi is on the, what do you call it, on the this roller coaster as we speak. When he crossed over to APC, in order for him to justify whatever he is promised or what have you, to justify that he's choosing IPOB more. And lately too, yeah, he himself has finally kind of come into the reality that there is no way we can prove that the IPOB are actually violent. We know these criminals. Most of them are known to them, by the way. Short from what some of us know. And this is where I actually want the people who have a social media presence in Igbo land, right? For somebody like me, yeah, if the security situation in Yoruba land has gotten to a stage where we have people, gangs, who come together and they start kidnapping Yorubas, yeah, and they start kidnapping them in any part of Yoruba land, whether a royal father, whether a politician or whatever you, yeah, somebody like myself, I'll be able to know the people behind it. Depends in the area. I will be able to speak to people as long as it's Yoruba land. That's, from where I come from. So that's what I would expect from all of you who are mostly pointing fingers, here and there. The reason why I haven't really spoken much about all this DOS versus this and that and all these things going on social media is because it doesn't help. I just felt like it will get to a point that maybe some of you will break that the cycle, and you'll begin to do the right thing. Criminals are hijacking the real Biafran struggle in the eastern Nigeria. Criminals are trying to change the course of the struggle, even though they are not part of it. They are trying to change everything in a different way to make you get blacklisted. So if you are from that part and you have so much in-depth and whatever your understanding of Eastern Nigeria, where these guys are found, Imo State, where there is now the headquarters of the terrorism of this magnitude brought about by the Supreme Court Governor of Imo, you should expose them, call out their names, tell us about them, tell people about them, distance yourselves from them, because what this whole thing would do at the end of the day, right, is going to make the work of those who are really chasing this, who are really ready to make sure that people pay for what they have done, what they are doing right now, right, and what they have done. They pay, either in this life, even in death. You are going to make that work harder. Sabotaging the work of freedom, as they put it, sometimes can be involuntary or out of ignorance, and mostly because people get misled. When people lead you to a wrong direction, it is like having your house on fire, and then you are there about chasing rats. Yeah? So by the time you look back, everything is gone. This is what I see. It is like a conspiracy against IPOB that you've never seen before. The shock of what this is going to end up as, if you don't begin, I'm talking about your popular social media, influencers, because that's what many people are, influencers. There are real influencers on the Biafran struggle. Your job, is not to chase rats. Your job is not to chase yourselves. Your job is to make sure that people are not misled. People are not led onto a wrong path. By the time they will look back, their valuable IPOB will be in tatters, not because they wish it. So at the end of the day, the wish of Buhari will be fulfilled. There should never be any strong uprising in Eastern Nigeria for Biafra. That is too much for us to handle. It must never happen. Use every trick in the book to weaken them. For example, let them start killing themselves. Let the media report it as IPOB. Internationally blacklist them. Arrest every member of theirs that you see anywhere all over the world, because they will be considered as terrorist organization or as terrorists. So by the time you look back, there will be no base to stand on anymore. And all of this can be done within another year. Look at what they have done this year alone. Just think. So the point I'm making is that there are people doing this job. You know what I mean? Doing this job of trying to get the world to think Biafran struggle has become a terrorism struggle, a armed struggle, even though they have no plan for the people they say they want to fight for. For example, right? You have no plan. If your job is to kidnap high-profile politicians, kidnap policemen, kill them, roast them, make videos and all of that, that is not an armed struggle. That is a criminal, a criminal arrangement that makes you criminals. In fact, it makes you a terrorist or makes you more terrorists. So as Igbo man or woman, don't live in denial of it. You should join those that will expose that. Politicians might be behind them. DSS might be behind them. Let's start with their names. Don't own them because you didn't create them. Yes, fake news, misleading people. It is fake news, right? If something didn't happen and you say it happened, right? Rile people up or create a smoke screen, lead people into a very wrong path by telling them things that are completely unrelated to how you are going to move your struggle forward. Infighting is also one of those things that people create smoke screen, fake news. You know, it is so funny. It is not funny, by the way. It is so shameful, right? That Nigerian government spend billions of naira every year to create propaganda, different propagandas against IPOB. No joke, this is real. Locally and internationally. Telling the whole world, don't be deceived. These guys are prone to become this and that. These guys are not fighting for Biafra. These guys are, spending billions to discredit IPOB. So it's so ridiculous. When people within IPOB or supposed supporters of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu and this and that, begin to create their own propaganda, not against the Nigerian government and their agents, but against themselves. So it's not funny, it's shameful. So when you lead them here or there, don't lead yourselves into a wrong place, because there's something cooking. You should be interested in that, all of you. Do you get that? Of course, they kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu. They said they have evidence that is the one behind the insecurity in Eastern Nigeria. Meanwhile, the only insecurity in Eastern Nigeria before they kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu was the Fulani terrorist. You remember how you see cows everywhere and all over everywhere then? Some of you are not even saying, oh boy, we know they do see cows again. Oh, yes, you still do see cows, do you? Do you? If you are living in Eastern Nigeria. But somehow you probably didn't acknowledge how suddenly that level of cows here and there, clashes here and there, they call it clashes, and people are dying. You probably didn't notice how that suddenly disappeared. Even though Igbo governors, they did not support the ban on open grazing. When they stylishly or sluggishly supported it, they couldn't implement it. You know that. But somehow, the cows have stopped coming to your cities. So there was no violence anywhere. When they killed IPOB members inside in their homes, there is no violence anywhere. There was none. Then ESN came, 2021 came. We started hearing unknown gunmen going to police station, unknown gunmen attacking roadblocks, unknown gunmen, and blah, 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 here and there. There was no violence. Now they picked him and they are looking for evidence. Don't make it easier for them when criminals come out to say, Nnamdi Kanu gave us the order. Maybe you should all even stop using this order, command. I am ordering you. Stop using that, please. Somehow it's becoming so ridiculous as terrorists in Igbo land. Yeah, terrorists in Igbo land. When you kidnap people, kidnappers, we used to call the Fulani kidnappers. Now we have Igbo criminals who are kidnappers, and they're not hiding it. They make videos of it. So your job is to help us expose them, expose those who are funding them. Some of you are smarter that way. If not, you see this 2022, like I said, there was no this violence. There's nothing to hold Nnamdi Kanu for. Now they are killing people, making videos, saying Nnamdi Kanu gave them the order. How long do you think such propaganda, as you would like to call it, how long do you think how deep do you think is going to cut into you before all of you stop this infighting? I just thought I should let you know, because it's the same thing in Yoruba land. I am not going to come out here and support any criminal organization that comes together and kill any Yoruba Oba and say we are killing them because they are not supporting Yoruba nation. That is an act of terrorism. That is not fighting for Yoruba nation. No, it's not. You can't even go there and pick a Fulani man or Hausa man, tie him down, and you kill him and you say you are fighting for Yoruba nation. No, you are not. You are a terrorist. What we'll do is that we will figure out where you are. We'll find out those who are backing you there. We'll display your picture, display those who are working with you. That is what I expect all the Biafrans to be doing right now. Expose them, because that's not who you are. You don't kill people, because that's what Nigeria has become anyway. Justifying murder, justifying different kind of heinous crimes. And since the mind of the people has been so messed up, so badly, they have grown indifference. They say, how many? That one they are crayfish. Since people who kill in the name of, I'm killing in the name of Yoruba nation. How can you kill in the name of Yoruba nation? You are killing the Yorubas. They deserve to die. We need to kill all of them. Hey, you can say that when you are so angry and frustrated. Don't go out there and kill somebody and say you are fighting for Yoruba nation. How would that bring Yoruba nation? So that is why we must all condemn that. Always condemn it. And if you see people who, by any chance, find a way to justify it, please discourage them from doing so. You have IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra, and then you have your DOS, which some of you currently at loggerheads with. I keep reminding you, it's good if you disagree with them. It's all right. It's healthy enough if you all disagree within yourselves for the progress and, but what you shouldn't do is to feel comfortable accusing yourselves of things that keeps you divided. I have seen enough. I have seen enough. You have something physical, something you can hold. Don't break it because you are angry. You are angry because of the turn of event or what have you. It's okay to feel angry. It's all right to look for answers. But if you lost it completely by emotion and you have nothing else to hold on to, you are going to regret it. And that's the example of what I've just told you now. You're going to sleep, wake up one day, and you realize that there's been so much damages done, irreversible ones, and you become the defensive one and say, use possibly the rest of the decade trying to convince your fellow brothers and sisters that you still mean well, even though some people will kill them. They've just done it on their own. I mean, maybe I'm getting too soft when it comes to people getting killed, murdered needlessly, unnecessary death, unnecessary killings, which is the job of the Nigerian government. That's their own job. They kill people needlessly. And your job is to reduce that killing, not to contribute to it. Social media has inspired many people to want to be a hero of many things, and you kidnap your fellow brothers and sisters, and you video them, and you're sending a message to a Fulani man in Kano. How do you think it's going to make him feel? Sorry for you? Of course not. So keep your DOS. Criticize them as you want. But, like the Yoruba will say, don't throw the baby and the bath water. Because even if you rush to grab the baby, you may have dented a lot or destroyed something or, well, probably crushed something if the baby is still alive. Somebody managed to be the only center point, the center of attack for those who want to come down and hunt the Biafrans, Nnamdi Kanu. And for those years, these type of guys committing all these crimes, these criminals, they dare not come out. I bet that would be the job of Nnamdi. Nnamdi Kanu would have told everybody and say, no, I did not give such order. And they would then come back and tell you the people behind it. And as usual, he may even send the ESN after them and get them to be displaced and display and confess. That's the type of Nnamdi Kanu I used to know. And the one I know. That's the one I'm trying to call your attention back to now. That would be like somebody said, Maiyegun. Jesus said there will be so many people that will come and do so many things in my name. Thank you so much. Somebody said, Zeke. I'm glad if you say I'm speaking to people on ground. I like that because the message is for them. Okay. I'll come back. I'll explain that. In fact, let me even take it. Said facts. And then what else? That where I'm getting my facts from. There's no specific fact other than the happenings that we have seen. Okay. So we have people on ground, especially in Imo State, that we believe are politically sponsored, that we believe they are not foreigners, they are Igbos themselves. And since the stage and start of the unknown gunmen, which was after the establishment of ESN, that was never to be in the city. So unknown gunmen operation started, and Nnamdi Kanu got kidnapped, and now some other people are coming out to claim to be killing for Nnamdi Kanu. That's what they said in that video. Zeke. Now, where I'm going is to say, every one of you who is a Biafran or the lover of Biafra should come out boldly and publicly to call them out and condemn them, distance them from IPOB, which many are doing, by the way, without justifying their violence in any kind, and do us a further favor. These guys who are the criminals who boldly came out to say Nnamdi Kanu gave them the order to kill all the politicians, kill all the traditional rulers. They are going to be the plug that will help Boko Haram achieve his dream, the dream of blacklisting IPOB as a terrorist organization. So it's your job as a Biafran on ground now to help expose them. Expose them in the sense that who are these guys? Let people know who they are. Let's know who they work for. Don't cook it up. Don't make up stories. And like I said, Zeke, I am not one of those who will buy the story of they are DSS, they are not Igbos, they are not this. Of course, they are not IPOB members, but they are Igbos and they are terrorists. What they have done that the world has seen, every Igbo man or woman who knows that that is such a barbaric act that should never be associated with any Igbo. Kidnapping your own, torturing them on video, and shooting them and killing them and dumping their bodies. There are others beheading them and cooking them in order to prove that Nnamdi Kanu must be released. Yeah? So we should not just deny them, Zeke. We must also join in exposing them. In exposing them, help those who are indeed working and doing the job of the emergence of Biafra, starting with those who are being persecuted for believing in Biafra, who are being hunted down by the government of Buhari. So don't just deny them. Do you get that now? So, well, that's that. Because as much as those who were shouting Allah Akbar when Osama bin Laden bombed America are now today shouting the North is bleeding, the North is bleeding, the North is bleeding. You see, I don't buy that. I'm coming back to that, my North is bleeding again, okay? Zeke is saying something. And some people may be like, who is saying something, especially on Facebook? Let me bring Zeke's comments on the screen for the sake of this chat. Because Zeke said, I am speaking directly to the people on ground. So give me a sec. You see? Like you said, but there are known, unknown, and unknown. What you just said, what you just said is, let me put it that way, a known. You see, when people want to deceive you and they are not straightforward, that is when they use this line. Zeke, when you want to confuse people, you talk about talking the known. Of course, the known is what? That what? That the Igbos who kidnap other people are Igbos and they are not DSS or Fulani as some people will want us to believe. That is a known. Thank you. Which is the one I said. And then the known unknown. Why is it known when it's unknown? Confusion. When people want to deceive you. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like known unknown. It is what do you call it? It is unknown. That's why it's called unknown. So you can't know what is unknown. When you unknown it, that means you know it then. Then there's this one you said, the unknown. Unknown is unknown. Once you know it, then you know it. It's no longer unknown. Do you get what I mean now? So, well, it can either be right or left, or front or back, right? It can be all, but it can be either, rather. It can be either of them. There's nothing like this free word, okay? But again, I caught that and I decided to say something on that, okay? The known thing is that Biafrans are not violent. The IPOB, I know, they are not violent people. They've not been, and the record is there for the 6 years before this 2021 that they unleashed the unknown government, unknown gunmen. And we said they are not unknown gunmen, they are known. We just never have the people who have the chance to lead us there. That's what I would do if I want to unface those that are killing people in Yoruba land, for example. You see, in Yoruba land, we unveiled those who were kidnapping us in Yoruba land. When we went to Igongon, you were able to see why we went to Igongon. When we went to, what do you call it, to get, what's that guy's name again? Iskilu Wakili. We're able to say, that's Iskilu Wakili. So when we say people are being kidnapped and ransoms are being collected up north of your state, this is the guy. So that's what I would like to see when they say unknown gunmen. Who is unknown gunmen? Unknown waiting. In Yoruba land, people were caught who dressed up like Fulanis, kidnapping people. Yeah, kidnapping people for money. They dress up like Fulani. They are not Fulanis, they are Yorubas. That is why you can't trade unknown this with us in Yoruba land. And we won't dance with it. If you push anything unknown, we'll tell you we know those who committed it. And if you want to know, we will unveil them. And we do unveil them. And it's a matter of time. We go after them. Enough to at least tell you that unknown can work with us. So, but these ones are no. Okay. Unknown gunmen they created in eastern Nigeria. I would possibly, if I have resources enough, if I probably from Igbo land, I would dedicate my time to work on those ones because those are the real ones that are going to do the job of blacklisting IPOB. You see the rest of those who are catching cruise on social media, those who are catching the vibe and the rest, they're going to fizzle out. When this whole thing comes crashing, they're going to fizzle out. That's how it works. So I would have dedicated my time exposing them to know them. So I won't be going about with unknown. I won't be going about with that Zik, if you get what I mean. Yeah? So what I'm saying is that we can dedicate our time to expose those who are the agent of death in Biafra land. Yeah? Expose them for real. And stop this finger pointing. It's not working. Again, I don't buy that, Zik. Okay? So when you want to confuse people, you use those. All right? And if you say your explanation is there are things that you know you don't know. There are things, of course, yeah, there are things I don't know. And I know that I don't know them. Yeah? Okay. And then that is a known unknown. Okay. Then you said that you are really smart about in time. You really realize that there are things that you don't know and that you don't know. You see, let me save you the confusion, Zeke, and the confusion as well for my viewers. Okay. Of course, when I don't know something, I don't create them. All right. Which is what I'm trying to say to everyone now. Okay. If I don't know something, I don't create them. I don't come here and say, I'm using an example now, Zeke, to make it work, right? Oh, I know the people behind the insecurity in Eastern Nigeria. I say, oh yeah, tell us now. I say, okay, I know Uzodima. I know Okorocha and their political family. I know the disgruntled PDP members who also, surprisingly and shockingly, they lost power too. Then I have also heard of the Biafra National Guard, and we've heard of the Cannibals. So when I give you those ones, they are real things. You can then say, okay, how? Explain, which I have done many times. All right. But if you now say, do you know how they kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya? Okay. I may have an idea, but I don't know how the whole operation of kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu happened. Which means, from what is available to the public, yeah, we know how he got arrested in Kenya, what happened to him, and then how he got to Nigeria. Enough. So I don't need to create something else that you can't relate with. Something you can't, because one thing will lead to another. Okay? Like if you want to know something, you get to know it from somewhere, then you dig further, and you dig further, and you dig further. So whatever you find, your job is to break it down for those who probably won't have that kind of privilege of digging. And that's what I'm trying to say here too, Zeke. There are criminals who have hijacked the Biafran struggle. And to make it worse, we wouldn't have minded, we wouldn't have cared. But to make it worse, they said they are killing people in the name of Nnamdi Kanu. How do you expose that? Other than to dedicate your time and expose them. Do the right thing. I have done my only two because those are the information available to the public, which is we have people who are responsible. Call them out. Call them out. Let people know that, yes, they are Igbos. We saw them. We see them. Yes, they may have sponsors. They may have people who are backing them. That's exactly what would have happened in northern Nigeria. Yeah? Today, the terrorists who can walk in and kill people, when they started, let me tell you, do you know that the template that Bokwari and gang wanted to use to escalate and fast-track the killings of the Biafrans and justify all the killings and blame you all for it is similar to what Mohammed Yusuf, the founder of what later became the Boko Haram. Yeah? The guy was in bed with with the political class. And they lost power. They, had their usual disagreement and the rest of it. And he got arrested and he got killed. You see, those who are later kidnapping school children, those who later kidnapping women, children, killing people, which now metamorphosed into what we have today, the Fulani terrorism and the rest. They latched on that to convince the locals that they are killing the police, they are killing the military because of what they did to Mohammed Yusuf. Somehow, the people didn't see themselves as potential victims. In fact, from the early stage of it, Islamic preachers in northern Nigeria, they were supporting the Boko Haram acts of terror publicly. That's what made Issa Pandemic one of the popular cleric in northern Nigeria. It was because of that. Explaining to people why it's okay. Kill them all. They are infidels anyway. It always starts gradually and gradually until you realize that you are actually going to be the victims. Call these guys out. Call them out and give us their names. It is important. Okay. Nnamdi Kanu and so many Biafrans have been killed, sacrificed. Abba Abimbola. If you are asking me about Diaspora Radio International, Diaspora Radio International has been streaming live, non-stop for the past 19 months. It started operating from the 30th of June 2020. So if you are asking me in December 2021, when is your radio station starting? It simply means you have never really been following me. All right? So if you go on to diasporaradiointernational.com right now, well, you can listen to everything I've said or I'm saying in audio form. Go on. Go check it. Abimbola, if you have the time. In fact, you can turn it on right now, possibly, and take a listen. Okay? So Diaspora Radio International is running. And now that I'm going to have a lot of time on my hand, after a bit of a break from work, I will likely get our presenters on and active too. So probably many of you will begin to find your favorite other person, because for now, they are mostly what Maiyegun says you listen to in audio form on diasporaradiointernational.com. Go on it. Thank you, Abibola. So when you have the time, just check it out. It's just going to be the audio form of what you watch live here for now. All right. And so the terrorists up north is like a flashing news before this of the Cannibals, right? 38 people killed in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State, Southern Kaduna. 38 human beings killed by terrorists. And as we speak, condolences have been sent out to their families. And then when we wake up tomorrow, we'll see how many people who make it overnight, who make it through the night. And they're not going to probably see tomorrow's evening. As it is, we have seen the numbers of people being killed up north, people being killed down south, especially in the eastern Nigeria. I am pleading with all of you who have the resources enough to help further exposure of those who have took up arms. ESN of eastern Nigeria, they are always in the forest. In the forest going after the criminal terrorists there terrorizing the locals. In Yoruba land, we have them too. But it's just that we have done so well enough, yeah, to make sure that we don't broadcast it anymore. And the moment I begin to see any group in Yoruba land concerned with the safety of the Yoruba people who begin to kidnap the Yorubas in the name of trying to send a message, you can expect me to be at the forefront telling you to reject them. Any violence against our people should be resisted. It should never be encouraged. It shouldn't. A young lady, I forgot her name, has been declared kidnapped, missing. And guess what? The whole process of her kidnapping and all what have you from Muritala International Airport. They said that she's coming back from Canada, Montana, and then between Muritala International Airport and Eastern Nigeria, she's gone missing. But before she got missing, she quite said that she's been trailed by the police and what have you. So they haven't told who took her. Many people are going missing, targeted people, simply because they are standing up for Biafra. Don't let them, or be victims in vain. You know what I mean? Let's look inward. Push the message of Nnamdi Kanu. I mean, the message that an average Biafran clung to. The message, which is the message that even if I die, the Biafran struggle must not die. Yeah? Divided house will make that happen. Call out these guys. Dedicate your resources. You know what I mean now? So a lot is going on. People are being picked up every day. And it's only those who make it to the social media that you are currently hearing about. I screenshotted some of their pictures and images and what have you. And I couldn't put them on before the broadcast. And trust me, yeah, I personally feel like, how is it going to be if I happen to be one of them? So there are ways you should know how Nnamdi Kanu managed to keep the people together. And for once, yeah, I'm beginning to really appreciate that time. The time everyone took for granted. The numbers of the Igbos that are being killed today. You won't say that happened when Nnamdi Kanu was not in their detention or what have you. Most of the time, even when they have a final plan of invading anywhere, of doing this or that, or that, what they usually do is that they either cut it down or they quickly cut it out, but they do it with impunity these days, conveniently, confidently. They watch the social media and see every one of you bragging. We will deal with them. We will deal with them. We will kill this and that. And then they will be like, oh, you'll kill us. Okay, no wala. They move out again, go into people's homes, go into people's businesses, attack them, kill them. Soldiers will take them away, take their bodies away. And they come back in the evening to come and watch the video. We can do better than that. It's something Nnamdi Kanu was able to do. The intel that people were able to give to him, how he used them, was very crucial to what IPOB became. Even when he spoke of war, brainstorm, this, fire, and all that, the Biafrans knows that somehow, whatever he says, he would never put them in the arms. And indeed, until after his release, when everybody is now, a lot of people are now here, there. I even heard about Edu Nation. And I said, why can't they both coexist? If the Biafrans are also the Edu, you know what I mean? Now, like, you can disagree, it's all right. But you don't tear yourselves down. And then somebody sent me and they said that, over this thing, no be joko, the people of Edu Kingdom, they have now condemned Kanuta Kanu to the gods. They've condemned this, they've condemned that. And in fact, all of the, all of the recovered properties of IPOB, the money raised for ESN. Somebody sent that to me, said money raised for ESN, and they sent me the picture, right? Has been sent to the gods of Edu Kingdom. I'm like, oh, come on, we can't go into 2022 like this, please. We can't go into 2022 like this, right? In Yoruba land, I have so many people of the same kind of mindset, and all that. And I managed to tell them, those who speak to me, can we please calm down enough not to tear ourselves apart to the point that by the time we are done, there will actually be nothing else to hold on to. Do you get what I mean now? So don't call yourselves criminals. Don't attack yourselves. I mean that when I say it. I do mean that. Don't attack yourselves. Calm it down. Be people who go in there, say if two people no agree with themselves, calling themselves names on social media, be the third person to calm them down. Tell them to calm down. Guys, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? I hope we won't be having to deal with that in 2022. And I hope I won't be one of those that will project, a total blackout of the entire struggle in 2022. So bury all those differences. Let's dedicate our time into what really affects our people and how much of our own people have been compromised. They have been mobilized to unleash terror on us. Yeah? And their victims are going to be me and you. As if to say the Fulani kidnappers and Fulani terrorists are not enough. And you cannot deny it. You may be denying it now, okay? You may be finding it difficult to even understand what I'm saying. I don't understand what he's saying. Are you saying yes? I'm not saying this or accusing you of anything yet. I have told you the criminals and don't own them. You will be owning them. You will become the owners of those criminals. If you say, after everything you have heard from me all night, the first question that comes to your mind is, I don't even understand what it's saying. Are you saying, I'm not saying IPOB is this or that. I am saying, please don't make IPOB what it is not due to your ignorance and possibly your stupidity. I've seen enough on social media, no joke. All right? So I've listed those criminals. Don't own them. Call them out. Call them out in a unison, what do you call it? Zika's question for me every now and then. I like that. I wish I'm doing this in a hall. I will be able to answer all your questions as well. What I mean by don't get black out of the old struggle is this. Where you say when two brothers fight to death, foreigner would inherit their possessions. And one of the things that destroy people, which I have seen myself, destroy people so fast that they don't usually agree to, is that they live in denial of what is obvious. The threat of the armed criminals committing crimes in the name of Biafra should be tackled by the Biafrans themselves. But you won't be able to do that if brothers and sisters are either Idu in the morning, Biafra in the afternoon, and you will be one of those that will end up that by the time you look back, be getting black out or blank out of the whole thing is that by the time you look back, the havoc being wreaked by these armed criminals in the name of Biafra would have done absolute irreparable damages to the whole struggle that some of you are still trying to figure out who is right, who is wrong. DOS is right. IPOB is this. The Simon Ekpa is right. Idu Kingdom is wrong. Don't live in denial. Don't pretend that you don't know what I'm talking about. So living in denial is to deny it and chase something else. But if you continue in that path, blame DSS and what have you, this one don't bribe this one, that one don't bribe that one. So what will later happen is that by the time you look back, yeah, you will realize that there will be no Biafra struggle under IPOB anymore. Trust me, you'll likely use the rest of your life trying to convince the world that Biafra is not a terrorist organization. And I know what I'm saying, but it may not make any sense to some now. But that's what I mean. The energy that some of you are, you are burning on explaining to the world who is doing the Biafra struggle right or not. You see these cannibals, go and read the headlines. Go and read the news. They are not saying they are criminals, cannibals of Biafra Guard or this or that. Their headlines continue to say ESN, IPOB, armed, this and that. And it is deliberate. How would you figure that out when you say, oh, it's because of our brothers working for DSS? Oh, it is the DOS. Let's blame DOS. They are the ones who should have. So by the time you are busy with all of that, yeah, enter 2022. When you look back, oh, it won't. You see, let's make it this way. Zik. I don't know, maybe it's because of the way you type. When you type in capital letter, it means that you are screaming. You are like shouting. I don't know if you know that or maybe you don't. All right. So like your comment there, do you believe that if IPOB was shut down, that would stop Igbos from leaving Nigeria? And you typed it in capital letter. You know what that means? It means that you are angry and you are shouting. Maybe you are not, right? When you ask questions like this, yeah, it simply means that you probably have your own predestined answer. That is not a conversation. Yeah, that's what I mean that, capital letter may not mean that you are shouting. I agree. That's why I said that. But when you ask questions like this after all I have said, yeah, it simply means all I have said didn't make any sense to you. And if it doesn't make any sense to you, that is where a question like this will come out, right? There's nothing I said all this while, yeah, that pointed to Biafra will not leave Nigeria, whatever happens to IPOB. What I said in a nutshell is that we have people who are committing crimes in the name of Biafra. Yeah, you know. And this crime they are committing against Biafrans, even if those Biafrans don't agree. Are you with me? Now, IPOB, a standard, reputable organization that gave light to the Biafran struggle again in the last 6 years, that is so formidable, reputable enough. It is a big vehicle, a very wide, formidable vehicle that is good enough to take Biafrans out of Nigeria. But with the recent happenings, if attention is not paid more to those who are hell-bent in making sure that in the next 2-3 years, IPOB will not be seen like that anymore. Now, it's going to be a two-way loss if anything happened to IPOB, which I am not actually hoping for. Then that makes me say, to save that, it's not going to be done by any other people but the IPOB members themselves, the Biafrans themselves. Because you have a very formidable vehicle that is enough. Why start all over again? Why get this one ruined? Now, you may not know that people who do this may not be doing it intentionally. Emotion, anger, rage, disagreement, and all of that. I am an observer. And mine is to say, hey, okay, you have spent so much energy on who is right, who is not right, and I'm not going to be one of those who live in that denial. Yeah? This whole division, DOS, this and that. You spend so much time and energy on it that you're not paying attention to those who are doing a lot of damages, real terrible damages to what all of you are trying to tell us who is right, who is wrong. That's what I'm saying. And I said, even when people who have taken side, the first thing you should never, or let me say, the first thing you should come out of is living in denial. What is living in denial? Living in denial is for somebody to tell me that Maiyegun, no, it's just a disagreement within us. Don't worry, it's not a big thing. Are you serious? I don't see it that way. Maiyegun, don't worry. People, you see, it's just DOS must go. The lawyers, they are betrayers. These people are betrayers. These ones are Sabo. This one are DSS. That is called living in denial. Just creating something to fantasize about. For example, they said a lady said he had all the evidence of how they kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya. And he's going to release it. He's going to expose everybody who is involved. Last, they said the lady said some spirits. They revealed it to her in her dream. But thousands of people already believed her because everybody has their own suspicion. This is not right. How could they take Nnamdi Kanu for 5-7 days and nobody raised alarm? What happened to his wife? What happened to his family members? What happened to this? People have their suspicion. Then somebody woke up and he said he has the answer. That's misleading. Only for after a week or two to say she had a dream. Then if you now use your energy to defend that, it's all right. It's all right if that makes you feel good. It doesn't make any sense to me. But the damages is that the energy that should have been used to say, hey, guys, we have it on record. You see that those people who are kidnapping people in the name of Biafra struggle, in this local government, in that local government, this is their name. This is their face. This is who they look like. This is that. Help the world to expose whatever the politicians are milking, because people are dying because of this struggle. So that's what I'm saying. You know. No, we always have people who don't agree with us. And in a way, somehow, you know, or Maiyegun's diary Politico, we can say it is conversational. Because even if it seems like I'm speaking to Zeke or replying to Zeke in my video here, I'm actually speaking to all of you. I am. Because people will still do what they will do. But in the process, there are also people that will say, oh, I think I get what Maiyegun is saying. That we should stop living in denial that there is no infighting within the IPOB structure. Oh, there is no infighting within the Ilana Omo Odua structure. But if we give much energy to those infighting in order to try to outdo one another, yeah, you will never have the energy to see what they are doing to the same struggle for you. Something you did not orchestrate, something you did not fund. Some people are funding that. They needed to be exposed. Detach IPOB, detach a Biafran struggle from anything violence, even if it appeals to your fancy. Do you know if you fancy killers? Yeah, for some reason you are also a killer. That means you will hate and abet killers too. As long as you are not the one being killed most of the time. People who support killers, who support these heinous crimes, yeah, they support them because as long as it's not them. The bottom line is that I have it on a very, very factual authority. If you go online, you'll see it there, right? I have it there, that they have an organization in America that has been working since the beginning of 2021, gathering evidence to convince the United States Senate, Congress, and the United States government to blacklist IPOB. And that dent and damage will mean so much to the struggle. A lot of people will have to detach from Biafra struggle. And not because they don't want to continue with it, but indeed, it will affect how soon you leave Nigeria. Maybe I should put it that way. But again, you all have your solutions in hand. But you see this one, when I see cannibals, when I see people killing people, eating people, in the name of Biafra, it is on myself to tell my friends, the IPOB we know, the Nnamdi Kanu we know, right? We never give an order that Igbos should kill Igbo to prove to the Fulanis that they are powerful and they will leave Nigeria. It is insane. It is unreal, and it should be condemned by every sane person. And above all, I keep saying it, like Nnamdi Kanu sent through his lawyers, he said, he wanted you to stay united because you have no idea how much Nigeria is spending to end this whole thing. And I'm scared, worried that they are about to win. Don't attack me for it. I have seen enough. And maybe if we quickly put a break on all this whole nonsense, maybe you can indeed hold back, and fight back until the time of redemption, as they say it. I won't leave much. I won't say more than that. So thank you so much for spending your time with me tonight. The Cannibals in Imo State, we will wait until the 3rd of January for Hopeless Uzodima to expose them and tell us those who are funding them. But if he says the names, trust me, believe him. But it would never have to add Nnamdi Kanu to it. How did he give any order to kill anybody? When you have made him, kept him incommunicado, and only 2 people who have access to him, or the 2 group of people who have access to him, his lawyers, his brother. And I'm yet to read from any of them where Nnamdi Kanu said, oh yeah, I have given you the order. If anyone is glamorizing it, please call them out. Hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, maybe the next one would. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good evening and good night.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé.